Hello people, I'm Ginny Metherell. I'm a fourth generation witch of Irish descent and I have been practicing witchcraft all my life. So I grew up practicing traditional and old ways magic, and this is what my channel is all about. Today's video is all about oracle cards and I want to give you a 7-step guide to using them, why you should use them and how. And so this is all about the oracle. I hope you can hear this video, by the way. It is bucketing down with rain and the noise of it is almost deafening. So I really apologise if the video is a bit off this morning. So it's either I record the video now or you don't get one this week. So I thought you can put up with the rain. Now, oracle cards come in every different style, shape and type that you can imagine. From animals to fairies to angels, and all they are is simply a deck of cards with pictures upon them and a guidebook which explains anything to do with those pictures. And the way they're used in divination is people will choose a card in answer to a question that they have posed. An oracle card will help them understand the answer. For example, you might choose a card thinking of the question, is today going to be an easy day at work? And then your card should reveal your answer. That is a standard way to use an oracle deck. However, I use it in a slightly different way. My way is more communicating with other spirits and elemental beings. As a result of me using oracle decks as part of communication, I have several packs. I mean, not huge amounts, I've got this many. And I don't get to choose which pack I would like to use. It is the spirit guide who will tell me and I will dowse for it. And quite often they give me a card from this particular pack, Earth Magic. Now this annoys me somewhat, only somewhat, because I don't like the artwork and I don't think it's very good and I don't find it particularly inspiring. Obviously this Earth Magic pack has got something that many spirits want me to know, and so congratulations to Stephen D. Farmer. You've done a good job. Although I wish the artwork was better, it wouldn't annoy me so much. So I enjoy oracle cards and use them quite frequently and have great success with them. And in fact, I want to tell you the story of how I met my spirit animal guide. Now, this is back in the day when my spirit guide and I were learning to communicate with each other. And dear Sensei and I got on very well and I really could listen and hear to him. And he kept on saying to me, you need to talk to an animal. And I was thinking, oh, yeah, okay, well, what animal? And he kept on saying, you need to talk to an animal. I was like, oh, what animal? What animal? And so that's when he kept on coming back to me and making me choose this deck. And this is an animal spirit guide. So the clue was in the title, really, wasn't it? And the card I kept on getting, and it took about a week for this to happen. I wasn't very clever. I wasn't listening very hard. The card I got was this one, the elk. And, you know, I kept on going, yes, dear, lovely. It's nice. It's very nice. It's an elk. Yes, lovely. Lovely, it's an elk. Well done, lovely. Anyway, I would look at the words and the description and the guidebook, and my spirit guide kept on saying to me, no, it's the picture, it's the picture. And I was thinking, well, it's a deer, okay. And eventually she said, no, it's an elk. However, I hadn't got a clue what he was saying until I inherited our family's great Irish elks, which is here. This is a fossilised elk from 25,000 years ago, came from a peat bog in Ireland, and it is this actual physical animal that came from these bones that is my animal spirit guide. And that is how I learnt to get it, was through my oracle deck. However, it has all worked out extremely well because I now appreciate my great Irish elk as a spirit guide, and I communicate with him frequently, and he is wonderful. He's very, very, very loyal. He's normally hanging about, and that is something that I enjoy immensely. However, most people use oracle cards just as a basic form of divination, and this is where I suggest every witch and warlock starts their own journey. So here is my 7-step guide to using oracle cards. The first thing you need to do, number 1, is to charge your oracle cards up with your own energy. Now this can be as simple as placing the new pack of cards, unwrapped of all its packaging, underneath your pillow at night and sleeping on them. Before you go to sleep, just hold the pack and think, I'm going to charge these cards while I sleep. And your intent will put your energy into them. Or you could do it slightly quicker, cast a circle using whatever you choose, place yourself in the circle with the cards, hold them in your hands and charge them with your energy. Once you've done that, you can move on to step number 2. When you're ready to let your oracle deck guide you, you need to formulate your question. Now, this is harder than it seems. So you could formulate the question, for example, will I be rich? And then you choose a card and the card said yes. But your question is no good because you might inherit £2 million the day before you die. So saying, will I be rich? Well, yes, you will. You need to be so clear when asking questions. So to say, will I have $40,000 in my bank account at the end of this year is a better question to ask because that's a yes or a no. Then you can pull your card out and it might talk about other things around that, question. However, you will get some form of answer. The other thing you've got to watch out for is asking 2 questions at once. For example, should I buy a rabbit or a dog as a pet? It's much better to phrase the question as, is a rabbit the best pet for me over a dog? Because then you're saying, is a rabbit better than a dog? And this is a yes and no question. Very clear, very definite. My favourite saying for all witches is fuzzy questions get fuzzy results. So be very clear and careful. Step number 3 is obviously shuffling your deck. Now, whilst you're shuffling your deck, you need to hold the question in your mind, or better, I find, especially if you are a new baby witch, is to speak the question out loud 3 times whilst shuffling your cards. This will put your question into the energy that you have infused the cards with, and therefore you will get the best result. Number 4, choosing your cards. There are many, many ways to choosing your cards, but for me, I'm going to give you 2 that I use all the time. The first one is to choose your cards by the magnetic pull or the energy or the heat you feel from the palm of your hand. So what you would do is spread your cards out over a flat surface and you place the palm of your hand approximately an inch over the top of the cards and move it slowly along the deck until you feel a pull to a certain card. It might be a heat pull, so your palm might feel hot. It might be a magnetic pull. It might just be, it's that one. Go with your instinct and pull the card. This is the card I pulled for YouTube. What do you think it means? Leave me a comment below. The second method is to dowse for a card. So split the pack and using your pendulum, ask, is it a card from this pile? Now for this I get a yes, so I take the other pile and cast it to the side. I then split this pack into 2 again and repeat the question. Is it a card from this pile? Discarding the one that is not used, you will do this until you're left with a final card. Rather an apt choice, I think. Now, to start with, I would always only ever use one card because two cards can get a bit confusing. So always start with one card. As you get more advanced at it, you can pull two. But for the purposes of learning, let's just stick with one. Having chosen your card, the next thing to do is to sit with your card. I want you to really concentrate on when you first turn that card over, or what is it that grabs your attention? What is it that you instinctively look at? This will form part of the answer to your question, and it is your intuition here. Try and unfetter your mind from thinking, oh, well, it should be that, but actually I think this might be better as an answer. Go for what grabs your attention the very first time you look at that card. This is an important step because this is where you are developing your intuition with the use of the Oracle deck. Number 6. Time to open the guidebook. Open the guidebook and read through whatever it is that has been written about your card. Read it through once quite quickly and then look back at what you have just read and think, well, that bit got me, or maybe it was that bit that grabbed my attention, or this bit really resonates with me. Sometimes nothing in the guidebook will resonate with you because the answer is in the picture of the card. Sometimes it's just one single phrase. I used to pull a card, which I can't even remember what the card was, but it was something very strange like a penguin. And I would choose the card and it had nothing to do with the penguin or with, the imagery in the penguin and what the guidebook was generally saying. What it did have to do with was one phase, which was trust yourself. Because I was doubting my abilities at the time and doubting that I could do anything, and it was just, in my head and I'm not really thinking about it properly, my spirit guides kept on coming back to the trust yourself, trust your own instinct. And that's what I'm trying to get for you to do. You need to trust yourself and trust the immediately attention-grabbing headline for that card's description. And finally, step number 7, write it down. Write down the question, first of all, and under the question, then you can write down what the card was, what instinctively grabbed your attention from the card, what got you as part of the description, and what answer you think this brings to you. Now, the reason why I say write it down is because it's really important to do so. It will clarify it, not only in your mind, but in your intuition. Your intuition is clarified by the simple fact of writing it down. It's also brilliant to be able to reference it. So add the date. So therefore you've got the question, you've got the card, and you've written down what you think the answer is on that date. You can reference it for the future, as this is how you should do Oracle divination. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do leave me a comment because that tells YouTube that you enjoyed my video. Also give me a thumbs up and a subscribe if you haven't already. I've left in the description all my socials and where you can contact me, including Patreon. There's a lot happening on Patreon at the moment, and so have a look at that. I would be truly grateful if you could help me out and keep this channel alive by supporting me there. Otherwise, I will see you next week.